Hey everyone, it's your boy Ron, aka Ron the Artist, coming to you live. And welcome to Ron's Recap. I'm here today to recap and review the TV show Claws on TNT, Season 4, Episode 10, titled Mercy, the series finale of the final season. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. It's bittersweet because this is the show that I really, really liked and loved from the beginning. This final season, kind of meh, not too meh, but kind of meh. I really loved it, especially towards the beginning. The storyline and the scenes and the drama had me on edge and on the edge of my seat. So I fell in love with it. This final season took forever to come back, I'm sure due to the pandemic or whatever. And yeah, it didn't really give what it was supposed to give, honestly, this final season. But I give the final season probably a C grade. A C grade. Yeah, I give it a C grade. Maybe a C plus. I'll give it a C plus. Let's do that. All right, now let's get into it. Let's get into it, y'all. The episode started with Bryce getting to the bullet removed from his shoulder that Uncle Daddy unleashed onto him. And it looked real painful. Looked real painful. Then Polly up there writing a freaking letter, a goodbye letter that, that they're leaving for Uncle Daddy, aka Clay. That girl is a character. Like, Polly, why is she like this? Why is she like this? Like, her portraying Clay and aka Uncle Daddy with that accent and all was hilarious. Like, the accent was hilarious that she used, the tone and stuff that he would say, that just was hilarious. And they left a letter, next to his death as if he killed himself. And yeah, shit was real. And on to making the master plan to get out of Palmetto as they proceeded with. As Jen and Polly reminisced about the good times that they had with the crew, and with Jen under the impression that the crew had to leave Palmetto without her, because because Jen refused to leave without her kids. She wasn't going to leave Palmetto without her kids. Finally, Polly finally got access to the Baron's bank account, assuring success with her escape out of Palmetto. Funds, all of that. And it really came through in the midst of that, of Jen getting back her kids. Polly, one weird chick, but she is real as hell. She is real and just real. I loved Polly. Surprisingly, I liked her. Like I said, she was weird from the gate, but I really liked her. She, again, real, just real. She really did the damn thing in this last episode. She was always the mastermind with her plans and helping people get away and help people get through XYZ and getting everybody out of situations. Between her and Quiet Ann, they were two brilliant minds to help them get out of stuff. So pat on the back for Polly. Okay, on to the next. Quiet Ann went to see Dean and his girlfriend to get assistance with turning her baby over in her stomach to prevent the baby being breached. It looked painful. It looked painful. Then Bryce coming to the nail salon to visit Jen to convince her that they should leave Palmetto with Desna, even if that means them having to temporarily leave their kids behind. And she was not for that. Jen was not for that. Bryce made the argument that they should leave with Desna because they'd eventually come after them while looking for Desna. And I totally agree with that. Had they stayed behind while their kids is associated with the government and the state, they would have never saw them kids, let alone they probably would have used those kids as leverage to get a hold of Desna. They would have definitely did something, took them down some way, somehow, if Desna had got away. Desna and the rest of the crew had got away and leaving Bryce and Jen behind. That just would not have been smart. And on to the next one, Jen, ultimately, Jen, I guess, was terrified of losing her children. You know, she was terrified of losing her children to the point where she went looking for Desna to let her know about herself and that she wasn't going to leave with them to Cuba without her kids. To the point where she called Dean to deliver a message, causing Quiet Ann to overhear the convo. Bad move, bad move, bad move. Like, Jen, calm down. If you didn't want to go, you didn't want to go. Like, why did you have to call up Dean and confront him and tell him to give this message to her? Like, just wait till you see Desna. Wait till you talk to Desna to give her that message. Like, that she was going overboard. I get that you're a little scared and, you know, frantic and frustrated about losing your kids, but you know, Desna was trying to help you get them back, even though it was her fault that they got taken. And she's trying to, you know, solve all of you guys' life situations right now, life problems with your kids, getting them back. And you didn't want to take that. So what? Like, it's not her fault at that point. Okay. On to Dean and his girlfriend successfully getting Quiet Ann's baby to turn around. Meanwhile, Jen made another appearance unexpectedly, looking for Desna to let her know that she isn't leaving without her children. She saw Quiet Ann there and blase, blase, blase. Okay. The detective, a.k.a., or the DEA, a.k.a. Tony/David Jackson's partner, is on edge about losing her job and really wanted to buzz Desna. Meanwhile, heavily pressuring Quiet Ann to get more info promptly. She's like, you're an informative, get some information. Inform me. Because if you don't, your ass is grass. And crazy, crazy, crazy. Just as Bryce came to the terms with Jen about wanting to stay in Palmetto after the fact, Polly and Virginia saved the day by bringing their kids to them after Polly paid off one of the kids' father, what they called Black Daddy. So it appeared. So off they went to Pat. And again, with that Black Daddy, White Daddy, the fact that they call Bryce White Daddy, them young kids called Bryce White Daddy, and they call that first child's father Black Daddy is hilarious. Like, oh my God, that is freaking hilarious. I'm like, really? Black Daddy, White Daddy? Okay. okay. Next up, Ann took the detective to find Clay body lying dead with a note. Again, that was the note that Polly wrote and put together earlier in the episode. The cops then kicking in Virginia's door and instantly started shooting while Virginia and Polly were sleeping, all to arrest Virginia for killing Georgia. That story. When will police learn? If you're looking for somebody and you have a warrant or whatever the case may be, do not go kicking in someone's door and instantly shooting off fires. Not good. No bueno. That's how hashtags get started. That's how lawsuits and trials and XYZ get started. That rubbed me a little wrong. With that one. Okay. On to the feds in Virginia. They were on Virginia's head about killing Georgia. And they had proof of it due to a video footage that was on that pier or that bridge or whatever. They knew verbatim how it happened, what Virginia did, and they knew how to crack her. Meanwhile, Desna and the gang are determined to get Virginia out of the feds' custody as Desna tightens up the escape plan and the escape route. The feds were working hard to get Virginia to confess. They knew her weakness. I don't know how they knew her weakness, but they busted out the grape Fanta and skinned potato chips to their advantage, knowing the girl was hungry, knowing the girl was desperate. And that got her to crack. They got her to crack. Along with the video used from Georgia's phone. Virginia felt bad. I knew that. I said that a few vlogs ago. Like, Virginia, that blood is going to be forever on Virginia's hands. Like, I felt like she should have never killed that girl in the first place. Yeah, Desmond put in her ear for her to fix it because she's the one that let her in the circle. But Virginia didn't even ask Georgia about what happened. She didn't even ask Georgia, did you take these? Did XYZ? Did this happen or did this go on? Whole time you just automatically thought it was her because you found purses in her closet or that maybe belonged to them when it was Jen that took the product in the first place. So Virginia will forever regret that. She'll forever regret that. And they used that guilt trip to their advantage. And shortly after, Virginia confessed. And it led her in an orange jumpsuit, video calling Quiet Ann, and sentimental conversation where she was just telling Quiet Ann, don't look back. Will you be able to come see me? She said prior. Quiet Ann didn't say anything, and she was just like, I get it. Palmetto has brought you hell and you just want to get away. Just don't look back. Don't look back, don't look back. And it was a sentimental moment. And next up, what do you know? I was so excited about this next one. What do you know? Polly and Jen worked up a brilliant plan to get Virginia released by having people pose as ICE and stating she eats dogs. Stating she eats dogs like she's there illegally and that the girl eats dogs. I was like, oh my God. That was so bad. The Blazing Girl saying the Blazing Girl eats dogs and ICE. They came to get her. That was a brilliant plan. Again, I know that was Polly's plan because Polly, I don't know what is up with Polly and her mastermind plans and disguises and characters, but she is a character herself, and it typically worked to their advantage. And typically worked to their advantage, especially that got Virginia released out of the Fed's custody on a murder charge before she got booked for it. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. They saved the day with that one. But again, eating the dogs, hilarious and racist. Like, okay, next up, Desna saying her goodbyes to Dean, knowing that it'll be a while before she sees him again, if ever, let alone leaving him behind in Palmetto. Heartfelt moment on the FaceTime call. Like, she wanted him to just pack up her stuff and leave it somewhere or send it to an address and she would get it however. And she had to say goodbye. And, she was saying goodbye that you will never see me again or you probably won't be seeing me again or she doesn't know when. And Dean didn't really want to hear that. Of course, they were each other's world. As she said, growing up, they've been through a lot. They've seen a lot together, and them finally getting individuality together, especially Dean, as an adult, that he wanted and had contracted Desna for. But it was crazy because he got it, and she didn't want to bring him down in her madness again. So he got what he asked for, but it just meant that it was final that time, that their detachment might be extended, overextended. And it was heartfelt. I felt that. On to Polly having her final moments with Dr. Ken, saying goodbye. And so she gifted him a key to an office of his own for his medical practice. She bought for him. She bought that for him. And that was another heartfelt moment where, you can tell they had love for each other. They were past lovers, dated each other off and on, had a nice little moment. And she told him, he's a good guy. He deserves better than Palmetto. So that's why she bought him the office in another state. And get away. Do your best. Do your damn thing and go be great. She used the Barron's money to do some good stuff. She also paid off, the black daddy to get those girls, or probably the state to get those girls too. And there's no telling with that. But Polly, again, she was real deal Superman in this episode. Like, she really did some good deeds. She got Virginia. I know she got Virginia out of that was her plan to get her out of that damn place. And I'm so proud of Polly in that episode. She did some good things that really showed up and showed out this episode. So good for Polly again. just doing the damn thing. On to Quiet Ann on a dock, still informing the DEA detective of Desna's moves, meanwhile planting a bomb in the trunk of the boat. On the boat, their getaway boat, that Desna had planned to get away in. Bad, 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 bad. I'm like, come on now, girl. Like, it's one thing, you know, you informing the people, but it's another to try to kill them. And she said that as long as she's alive, she knows she will never get peace for her and her baby. And that's crazy that she would feel like that, because at one point, her and Desna had a lot of love for each other. Even though they was kind of beefed out, they had a lot of love for each other previously. And she was even willing to take Polly, Virginia, and freaking Jen's life too. That was crazy. I found that so crazy, because I'm like, you know that it's not just Desna getting away, it's all of them. And you're going to put a bomb in the freaking boat's trunk to take all of their lives? Like, foul. Foul, Quiet Ann. Foul, foul, foul play. Flag on the play. No, ma'am. No, rewind. Reassess. That wasn't it. So, that ended up leaving, that situation coming to a head where Desna knew what it was. She approached Quiet Ann as Quiet Ann was on the phone with the DEA. Like, you ratted me out, didn't you? Show went to commercial, came back to Dean knowing and feeling that Desna is in trouble and wanting to help save her. His current girlfriend was, trying to meditate with him and get him to calm down, but he couldn't shake it. As he was getting ready to leave, Dr. Ken stopped him, and honestly, it was the best decision for him, in my opinion. Because Dean has a new life to live for. He has a new life to live for a baby, an upcoming baby, and a girlfriend. And again, he wanted that. He wanted the separation. He wanted this tie of not being so tied to Desna and her madness. And she was giving him that. So he can't be mad or feel some kind of way that she's about to leave or go to the next level or whatever she was about to do without him. He just got to understand that, because that's something he signed up for. And it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate. But Dr. Ken stopped him again, and for the best. On to Desna and Quiet Ann on the dock, face to face, gun to gun. Over Quiet Ann being an informant, turned into a shootout. Meanwhile, the feds on their way in an attempt to stop the shootout, and Quiet Ann took a cheap shot at Desna. Desna played like she was shot, only for Ann to let her guard down again, allowing Desna to shoot Quiet Ann right in the chest. Right in the chest here, pregnant woman. Causing her to fall in the water. Desna got closer to her to take another shot at Ann as she swam for her life in the water, killing her dead. And that moment was, I was like, whoa. The woman is swimming for her life pregnant, and Desna, pow, water, like, Quiet Ann even called her name, like, Desna. Honestly, it was no saving Quiet Ann at that point either. You did the utmost. You did the utmost, and you even tried to kill Desna yourself, so Desna would have been a freaking fool to even let you in there. Or help you out of the water, I should say. Okay. Next up, the rest of the gang. Once Quiet Ann's situation was over, the rest of the gang ran to the getaway boat, as Desna ran to the getaway boat as well. They're all scrambling to escape while the DEA are hot on their trail. And then, boom, the bomb went off and the boat exploded and sunk. My heart dropped at that moment, because I'm like, dang, damn. Like, come on now. Quiet Ann went out with a bang. Literally went out with the bang and left the bang along the way. And my heart sunk at that moment. And I just didn't know what to say. I was kind of like, damn, is this really how it's about to end? Then show went to commercial, came back. The next scene showed us the cemetery, Desna's shop being seized, along with memories of the gang. 2 months later, Dr. Ken came back to visit Dean, and his girlfriend showed up to his place, offering talking about his success and within the business and the medical practice. And I'm assuming at that point Dean was, in a major depression or some type of depressed and sad, because he wasn't thrilled to see Dr. Ken like that, even though Dr. Ken came and brought gifts. He was bearing gifts, and he also had a package that was left at the door that didn't have a sender name on it. And the package contained a cassette tape. It contained a cassette tape in it. The cassette tape was from Desna, her filling him in on the brilliant plan of how they got away. The music behind her talking was brilliant. Like, I just loved that tape, and I damn near cried my damn self, because I was like, oh my God, like, from them faking the beef, from Desna and Quiet Ann faking the beef. They made that up, I guess. There was a real beef at one point, but the ending of the beef, I guess, was just made up. They had squashed it. They then made a plan to throw the DEA off. It was all, her, Quiet Ann, faking to be an informant to throw them off and get them off her back so they could get away. And yeah, Desna, they were working together all along. They even faked the shootout, the drowning, and the bombing of the boat with the decoy on the side. As the boat, blew up, they somehow was in another boat that, went away. That, floated away. And they sailed off in the sunset, giving Dean joy and relief. And I was in relief too, because I'm like, oh my God. Like, they got away. There is a happy ending. And pretty much they escaped to Cuba after all. They escaped to Cuba. And there was even a little hint at the end at Roller, with Desna on the phone with Roller. Honestly, I wish that he was there and had made an actual appearance in that final scene. Because I'm like, man, Roller should have made an appearance in this final episode in general. Like, this final season, there should have been more hints at him and some type of appearance of him. I feel like he could have saved the day a while ago. I don't know why, but I don't know why they didn't. Maybe they couldn't get him back. I don't know. So there was a hint that he's still there and Desna is not with him, and that was the end, That was the end. They were pretty much, reminiscing at that point their best lives, about the past life and their new life, and it being 2 months later. As the episode ended, Quiet Ann's water broke, and they all laughed out. As they laughed out of joy, the water broke. Her water broke, and they rushed her, to get out of there, to the hospital, and it was the end of the episode. It went off, and I was just like, oh my God. I was happy they had a good ending. I was happy they had, a fairy tale ending. They were able to get away from the feds and get them off their back and fake their death. And, the only downfall is they had to lose people along the way. They had to lose Uncle Daddy, which he wasn't for Desna in the first place. He always kept her in mess. They lost Roller along the way last season. Desna couldn't take Dean with her, and Polly kind of lost Dr. Ken. So I guess there was a happy ending, but it wasn't the best happy ending. I really wanted to see Roller back. That would have had us gagged if Roller was back somehow. Like, man, that would have had us gagged. So that's the end, y'all. That's the series finale. That is it. That's it. That is a wrap. And honestly, like I said, towards the end, I got happy and I was excited to see the happy ending. But there was moments where I feel like it could have been better again, such as the Roller situation. The season, like I said, I give it a C. I give it a C+. It was good. But it could have been much better. It should have had us gagged and on the edge of the seats, us viewers. It was a good show, ultimately. It was a good show. Very good show. I loved it. So this is it, you guys. If you're watching this on Instagram live, we're live. If you're watching this on YouTube, it is not live. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment on this review. Let me know how you felt about this review. You know, subscribe to my channel, like the video, all the above. If you're on my Instagram, comment on this video. Let me know how you feel. You know, follow me. I can be followed on Instagram at rta.tv. Again, I can be reached on Instagram at rta.tv. And I am on YouTube at ArtRon14. Or Ron the Artist. Just find me, y'all. I'm here. I'm blogging. Find me. Subscribe, like, comment. Let's chat. Let's chat. Until we meet again, y'all. Peace.